investigators, and welcome along to Spy Curious after I have just stuffed up my link to Investigations Uni this week. I do apologise for that. I will send the link out to everybody so you can see it right from the beginning. Today over in Investigations Uni, we looked at road and weather conditions in C2P liability investigations and went through the issues in relation to inspecting the accident scene and what's important from the point of view of civil investigators. And we did that by looking at how police do it first. And the reason we did it that way is because in our training program, the Australian Security Academy, in our Certificate 3 in Investigative Services, in Maintain Workplace Health and Safety, there's an assessment on inspecting accident scenes. And I know everybody's bored to death with maintaining workplace health and safety, but we also have it in our Certificate 3 in Investigative Services program for conduct an investigation plan. So that presentation today in the uni related to workplace health and safety and planning investigations. That's why we did it. G'day, George. Great to see you. Thanks for saying hello. Hi, hey along. Thanks to you now, mate. Great to see you. Thank you. G'day, Nicole. Really pleased to see you. Thanks for saying hello. Yeah, we're back, David. It's all working now, mate. Yeah, it's my fault. I stuffed up the links. I'm good at that. G'day, Judith. Thanks for your patience and thank you for your help. And Emily, hey along, Judith, everybody else who helped get people into Spy Curious today. Really appreciate your big team effort. Thank you for what you did. But for those of you who missed Investigations Uni and got the wrong link that I sent you, which was totally my fault, let me know. I'll send out that link to you so you can watch the full program. And again, next week you'll have access to it. So getting back into it. If you're an investigator in New South Wales and you are an Australian Security Academy student, if you hold a company, right? So if you have a company structure and you have insurance, this organisation wants to employ 10 of you. ISG in New South Wales, one of the leading workers' compensation investigation agencies in New South Wales, for New South Wales workers' compensation investigations, have 10 vacancies for factual investigators in New South Wales for Australian Security Academy graduate students. They will accept your application. They will onboard you. They will pay you a beginning rate of $50 an hour as you learn and train. They are seeking 10 graduate Australian Security Academy students. Why are they doing that? Because they're most successful investigators in the organisation. The owners and the managers are all Australian Security Academy students. They know that you can take a statement. They know that you can improve on the statements you've taken in your course, and they're going to onboard you and help you do it. And they're going to start you off at $50 an hour. Now, 34 years ago, I started off at $5.70 an hour and I was making a fortune. And I was even getting 10 cents a kilometre. Now, these guys want to start you off at $50 an hour, but you must have a company. Okay, so put together a company structure. Contact ISG and say, look, Mike Evans sent me. Okay, they want to employ 10 of you. I'm not joking. All right, get in touch with them or contact me and say, hi, Mike, I have a company structure. I'd like to go and work for ISG. Now, they're going to onboard you. They're going to show you their methods and their ways of doing things. They're going to introduce you to your own business and create the concept where you can grow that business in workers' compensation and in sexual harassment, racial discrimination, code of conduct investigations later on after you start off in workers' compensation. They've got it all at ISG, all right? They're a professional organisation, established investigation agency, been around for a long time. They look after their people at ISG. So get in touch with them. If you're an Australian Security Academy graduate student, you're a licensed investigator and you have a company structure. If you are looking for work as a licensed private investigator, this is our Facebook page where we put up some of the jobs that are available each week. Now, I haven't put up the ISG one because they only contacted me 20 minutes before Investigations Uni went to air on the wrong link, but I will put that up next week. Okay, so there's a surveillance operative required by Procare in New South Wales on that page. There's CTP case manager, compulsory third-party liability case manager for Quantum Corp in New South Wales. If you don't know what that is, go over to Investigations Uni and watch today's episode. Manager of investigations at LKA down in Victoria. I hear what you're saying. You're saying, Mike, I'm a beginner investigator and these are management roles. Yeah, you won't be a beginner forever. Okay, so understand, all right, that one day you are going to be a person who coordinates investigations as you grow in this business. Nobody stays the same. You grow and you go up the ladder of success. You don't stay down in the same spot forever. All right, think about the future. These positions are being advertised now. Okay, they're going to be available in the future. 5 years ago, they were advertising the same positions. Why are they doing it now? Because the person was a dud? No, because the growth of the industry has been so prolific, they need more managers. So that's what's happened. So it's quite exciting. The fraud detection lead is wanted by Suncorp Metway in Queensland. So that's a job vacancy available on that website. And licensed factual investigator wanted down in my home state of Tasmania by Brookside Investigations. So you're going to be doing general insurance, investigations, surveillance, and factual investigations down in beautiful Tasmania. What a great place to be working. It's like you're on holidays all the time. No traffic. It's really nowhere to hide in surveillance either. So really great. Investigator for safeguarding and assurance. You'll need a certificate for in government investigation for that one. So they're just some of the jobs that are available over there today. When you go and work for ISG or you go and work for LKA or Quantum Corp, and you do workers' compensation investigations, these are the issues that you're going to be exploring. So you're going to be looking at training, supervision, system of work, personal protective equipment, warnings, and is the person a worker? It's as simple as that. They are the factors that ISG want to onboard you with, set you up in your own business that you will have success with for the next 30 years, like I have in my career, right? And pay you $50 an hour to learn and start with them. That's just the starting rate. Okay, so workers' compensation investigations, CTP liability investigations, Brookside and Procare were after surveillance operatives. These are amazing opportunities available over on this website. Now, if you need more information or you want to know what's happening around the place, you can get on our other Facebook page, Private Investigators Australia. Now, I had a question there this week from a person who asked this question. They said, hi all, about start training, and would like to hear from people training with Australian Security Academy. There is quite a big price difference for the course with them compared to others, so wanting to see what it offers. Thanks. And really helpful people generously answered that question and provided their time. They're very nice about it. The person got into it and said, yeah, but what? What is it? You know, well, there's a $1,200 course. Why should I do the $2,000 course? Well, actually, there's $3,000 and $4,000 courses in Certificate 3 in Investigative Services. I've never done them. I think they're priced so nobody will do them because they haven't got any resources. But the Australian Security Academy has the resources, is 25 years old. It's an established investigation agency. We run and own this Facebook page. The person was inquiring on a page owned and run by the Australian Security Academy, asking that question. Okay, there are cheaper alternatives out there. If you want cheap, go and do cheap. But if you want a job from people who have studied at the Australian Security Academy, who will onboard you and support you into the industry, just like the people who answered those questions for the person who asked that question and then got the short shift for answering. You try and help and you can't win. All right. These are people, highly experienced people, professionals, right? Trying to say, well, this is my experience. This is what people say. And then but what? If you want success in your investigation career, you go to information provided by professionals where professionals comment. If you go and study at an RTO where they don't have any social networking, or they do have it and they have no comments, particularly from anybody in the industry, and all the people in there are sock puppets and don't exist, and they send you over here to find work and find jobs, why haven't those RTOs got it? On this page, each week, I would knock back 6 posts for people who studied at cheap RTOs in Australia, Certificate 3 Investigative Services, begging for work, begging to find out how much they're going to get paid, begging to find out what they're going to do because they have no idea what they're doing, and they've got a Certificate 3 in Investigative Services. I don't put those posts up, right? Because I don't want to bore the professionals in the industry with it. And this is one of the biggest tips I can give you as an investigator. Really, really get it through your head. If you're taken on board in an organisation, LKA, Quantum Corp, ISG, Brookside, doesn't matter, and you get in there and you're being onboarded and you're learning and you're doing a few investigations, never talk about the investigation you're doing like it's really interesting and important to you. It's just another investigation to the people that have been involved in it for 5 or 6 years. It's boring to them. They don't want to hear about it. So zip it, right? You'll sound much more intelligent. You'll learn more by listening. Don't talk about your investigations. It's the biggest tip I can give you after graduating, because I've sat in investigation agencies and I've heard beginners doing it and I've gone, oh, no, don't talk about it. And even look, you shouldn't really, these things are confidential and private. Yes, you will talk about them to get advice and direction. That's fine. But not talking about them, as if they're interesting and you're doing the most important CTP liability investigation worth $600 since sliced bread. So keep that in mind. All right. Really, really important. So those job vacancies are there. The other thing with Australian Security Academy students, they get access to Investigations Uni. And there are now 142 episodes of support for that program for people who have studied Certificate 3 Investigative Services at the Australian Security Academy. All right. And those people are all members of our investigation networking group, which is the Academy of Investigation, Risk and Loss Adjusting Professionals. And they get access to continuous professional development through Investigations Uni. It's really important that, they can keep their study up. They can maintain their currency in the industry. They can keep up with what's trending. Okay, the County Court Amendment Act, or changes to workers' compensation, 30% impairment instead of 11% impairment. Is that going to be the end of the world? All this sort of stuff you pick up through Spy Curious from the Australian Security Academy, which is not available anywhere else. 6.5 years this has been running, and we missed one episode last week. Okay, and yes, a week after that, I stuffed up an appointment for an episode. So I even did that 6.5 years ago. So, I'm consistent. You've got to give me credit. All right. So you get so much more value if you're studying with and working for the Australian Security Academy. The Australian Security Academy will be closed on September the 10th until the 5th of January 2026. So if you are studying currently and you want to shift it up a gear so you are qualified to apply for your licence before the end of the year, get your assessments in, people. I really look forward to marking them. Pat will be back next week. He's back from his overseas travels and his holiday. So that's really important. Casey's booked out. She's on holidays at the moment, but she's booked out next month with training for OSINT, OSINT for Beginners program online. It's been taken up by a couple of government departments. And let's hope it's not Fridays, because she will be joining me here on Fridays if that's the case. So people, it's very short, very quick. Thank you to everybody that helped me out today in relation to my stuff up of the link. Hey Long, I really appreciate it. Okay. Everybody, Judith, Emily, I really appreciate your support. You're really great people. You're a really big part of what we do here in the community of practice of investigators throughout Australia. And although today is short and sweet, certainly that opportunity with ISG, if you're in New South Wales, don't miss it. 10, not 5, but 10 investigators wanted by ISG. If you can't contact them directly, send your resume to me, but you must have that company structure. That's really important, okay? It's an opportunity I never had. It's an opportunity I've only ever seen. Clarity investigations and Pinkerton's investigations, ISG investigations and Quantum Corp investigations ever actually, and SureFact investigations ever actually offer. It's very rare, okay? But the demand for it is there right now, okay? Get your company structure in place, contact ISG directly, or send me an email and say, Mike, here's a copy of my license, here's a copy of my company. I'll introduce you to ISG. And they make it really simple. All the managers have the same name, so it's really, really simple. They're all called Andrew, so you can't go wrong if you can remember that. Andrew, that's easy because Andrew presents on Investigations Uni each week. It's not him, but the name's the same. Okay, so thank you for watching, people. I've got to run. There's assessments to be marked and certificates to be sent out. I'll see you again next week. I really appreciate your help. Thanks for your patience with my link stuff up today. And I'll go out in my usual way.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.
My mission is complete this week. That's how every investigation in Australia, basically. Thanks, George. Thanks, Judith. Thanks, Georgia. Thanks, Hey Long. Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Bye.